Johnny Depp's last words about Amber Heard have just leaked, and they're not what anyone expected. "I should have listened to everyone, but this isn't some tabloid rumor or anonymous source gossip. This is testimony from someone who was in the room when Johnny finally broke his silence about the biggest mistake of his life. Someone who watched him realize that every single person who tried to warn him about Amber was right from the very beginning." The quote comes from a private moment in 2023, months after the Virginia trial ended. Johnny thought he was speaking off the record. He thought his words would stay private. But now they're out, and they reveal something devastating. The man who spent years defending Amber Heard, who married her despite everyone's warnings, who lost everything fighting for their relationship, finally admits he should have listened. This isn't just about regret. It's about the moment when denial cracked, and Johnny Depp faced the truth that everyone else could see from day one. Because what he said next in that private conversation will destroy everything you thought you knew about their relationship. To understand why Johnny's confession is so devastating, you need to understand just how many people tried to warn him about Amber Heard and how completely he ignored them all. The warning started in 2012, the moment Johnny and Amber met on the set of The Rum Diary. Vanessa Paradis, Johnny's partner of 14 years and mother of his children, reportedly told friends she had a bad feeling about Amber from their first meeting. This wasn't jealousy. Vanessa had never expressed concerns about Johnny's female co-stars before. But something about Amber set off alarm bells, a quiet warning that would echo in Johnny's mind a decade later. Johnny's sister, Christy Dembrowski, who managed his finances and knew him better than anyone, allegedly pulled him aside multiple times during 2013 and 2014. According to sources who claim to have been close to the situation, she warned Johnny that Amber was calculating and seemed more interested in his fame than his heart. Christy had watched Johnny through relationships with Winona Ryder, Kate Moss, and Vanessa. She knew when something felt different. His longtime friends in Hollywood were equally concerned. According to industry insiders, established actors who had worked with both Johnny and Amber privately expressed reservations about her intentions. These weren't casual acquaintances. These were people who had known Johnny for decades, who had no reason to lie or create drama. Even his legal team, led by attorney Jake Bloom, reportedly advised caution when Johnny wanted to change his will to include Amber after just 2 years of dating. The lawyers weren't being romantic, they were being practical. But Johnny was in love, and love made him deaf to every warning. The stakes were enormous. Johnny wasn't just ignoring relationship advice, he was dismissing concerns from people who had protected his career, his finances, and his well-being for decades. People who had earned the right to be heard, and now, in that leaked private moment, Johnny finally admitted they were all right. The specific warnings Johnny received about Amber weren't vague concerns. They were detailed, documented red flags that painted a clear picture of manipulation and control. Vanessa Paradis reportedly told Johnny's close friend that Amber exhibited classic signs of someone who studies their target. According to sources familiar with their conversations, Vanessa noticed how quickly Amber adapted her interests to match Johnny's. Suddenly, Amber was passionate about vintage guitars, classic literature, and obscure films, all Johnny's longtime obsessions. Vanessa had been with Johnny for 14 years and had never seen someone mirror his interests so completely, so quickly. Christy Dembrowski's warnings were more specific and more alarming. Financial records later revealed in court proceedings show that Christy documented her concerns in emails to Johnny's business manager. She noted Amber's immediate interest in Johnny's spending habits, her questions about his property holdings, and her suggestions about updating his will. These weren't casual conversations. Amber was gathering intelligence about Johnny's wealth within months of their relationship becoming serious. Johnny's longtime makeup artist, Joel Harlow, who worked with him on multiple Pirates films, reportedly witnessed concerning behavior on set. According to industry sources, Harlow told Johnny that Amber would show up to sets uninvited, monitor Johnny's interactions with female crew members, and create tension with passive-aggressive comments. Harlow had worked with Johnny's previous partners and had never seen this level of possessiveness or control. The most chilling warning came from Johnny's security team. Malcolm Connolly, his longtime bodyguard, allegedly documented incidents where Amber would become verbally aggressive when Johnny didn't respond to her calls or texts immediately. Security personnel noted that Amber would show up at Johnny's properties unannounced and become hostile when told Johnny wasn't available. These weren't romantic gestures, they were control tactics. But perhaps the most telling warning came from Johnny's own children. Lily Rose Depp, then just 16, reportedly told her father she felt uncomfortable around Amber. For a teenager to express concerns about her father's girlfriend suggests behavior that was obvious even to someone with limited life experience. Every single one of these warnings pointed to the same pattern. Amber wasn't just dating Johnny Depp, she was studying him, controlling him, and positioning herself to benefit from his wealth and fame. And Johnny ignored them all. Here's the detail that changes everything about Johnny's leaked confession. The specific moment when he realized everyone had been right wasn't during the trial, wasn't after the divorce. It was during the marriage itself. But the messages Amber left behind weren't about another man. They were something far more chilling. According to the source who witnessed Johnny's private breakdown, he revealed that the turning point came in December 2015, just 5 months after their wedding. Johnny was at his home in the Hollywood Hills, recovering from the finger injury incident in Australia. Amber was in London, supposedly supporting him through his recovery. But Johnny discovered something that shattered his denial completely. Johnny allegedly found text messages on one of Amber's devices that she'd left behind. The messages weren't to another man. They were to her sister Whitney and her friend Rocky Pennington. But the content was devastating. According to Johnny's confession, Amber was discussing the plan and how everything was going perfectly. She referenced Johnny's weaknesses and how to push the right buttons to get specific reactions. But here's the twist that makes this even more chilling. Johnny said he recognized the language. The phrases Amber used in those texts were almost identical to warnings his sister Christy had given him 2 years earlier. Amber wasn't just manipulating Johnny, she was following a playbook that his own family had predicted. For the first time, he realized his sister hadn't been paranoid. She'd been right. The source who heard Johnny's confession described his demeanor as haunted. Johnny reportedly said, "I read those texts and heard Christy's voice in my head, saying the exact same words. It was like watching a movie where you know how it ends, but you can't stop watching anyway." That's when Johnny made the devastating realization. Everyone who warned him hadn't been jealous or overprotective. They had been right. Amber was following a pattern of behavior so predictable that people who loved Johnny could see it from the beginning, and he had chosen to ignore them all. The source says Johnny's exact words were, "I should have listened to everyone. They saw what I couldn't see because I didn't want to see it. I was so desperate to prove them wrong that I proved them right." This wasn't just regret. It was the moment Johnny understood that his own stubbornness and pride had made him the perfect victim for someone who specialized in exploiting those exact weaknesses. The evidence supporting Johnny's leaked confession goes far beyond his private moment of realization. It's documented in court records, witness testimony, and behavioral patterns that experts say validate every warning he received. Dr. Shannon Curry, the forensic psychologist who evaluated Amber during the Virginia trial, testified about personality disorders that create exactly the kind of calculated behavior Johnny's friends and family observed. Her clinical assessment described someone capable of impression management and sophisticated manipulation tactics, the same behaviors Vanessa Paradis and Christy Dombrowski had warned Johnny about years earlier. The court records from their divorce proceedings reveal financial patterns that prove Christy's concerns were justified. Within months of their marriage, Amber had gained access to Johnny's credit cards, his property deeds, and detailed information about his business dealings. She used this access to make purchases totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars, exactly the kind of financial manipulation Christy had predicted. Malcolm Connolly's testimony during the trial confirmed the security concerns he had raised privately. He described incidents where Amber would ambush Johnny with emotional confrontations, often when he was tired or stressed. Connolly testified that he had never seen this pattern with Johnny's previous partners, validating the warnings from Johnny's security team that had been dismissed. But here's where skeptics might argue, couldn't these warnings have been motivated by jealousy or resistance to change? After all, Johnny's inner circle had grown comfortable with Vanessa Paradis over 14 years. Maybe they were just protective of the status quo. The evidence dismantles this argument completely. Johnny's friends and family had welcomed his previous relationships, including high-profile romances with Winona Ryder and Kate Moss. They had never expressed systematic concerns about any other partner. The warnings about Amber were unprecedented because her behavior was unprecedented. While these claims haven't been independently verified, they align with multiple accounts from Johnny's inner circle. More importantly, the warnings proved accurate in ways that jealousy or bias couldn't explain. When Christy warned about financial manipulation, Amber later gained access to Johnny's accounts. When security warned about controlling behavior, Amber later admitted to monitoring Johnny's communications. When Vanessa warned about calculated interest mirroring, court testimony revealed Amber had researched Johnny's interests extensively before their relationship began. The pattern is undeniable. Every specific concern raised by Johnny's inner circle was later validated by evidence presented in court. These weren't vague suspicions, they were accurate predictions of behavior that would eventually destroy Johnny's life. And that's where Johnny's confession shifts from personal regret to something more chilling, the realization that he had been warned about every single thing that eventually happened to him, and he had chosen to ignore it all. Johnny's leaked confession doesn't just reveal personal regret, it exposes the devastating cost of ignoring the people who love you most and how that choice rippled through every aspect of his life. The most heartbreaking consequence was the damage to his relationship with his children. Lily Rose Depp, who had expressed discomfort about Amber from the beginning, reportedly felt dismissed and unheard when Johnny married Amber anyway. Sources close to the family say Lily Rose interpreted Johnny's choice as him valuing Amber's opinion over his daughter's instincts. The distance between Johnny and his children during his marriage to Amber wasn't just about Amber's influence. It was about Johnny's decision to ignore his daughter's concerns. His relationship with Vanessa Paradis, the mother of his children, also suffered irreparable damage. Vanessa had tried to warn Johnny not out of jealousy, but out of genuine concern for his well-being and their children's stability. When Johnny dismissed her warnings and married Amber anyway, it created a rift that affected their co-parenting relationship and their children's sense of family security. A trust broken that would take years to rebuild. Professionally, the consequences were catastrophic. Johnny's career imploded, not just because of Amber's allegations, but because he had ignored warnings from industry professionals who understood how toxic relationships could destroy reputations. His agents, his publicists, his longtime collaborators had all expressed concerns about Amber's impact on his professional image. When Johnny dismissed their advice, he lost not just their respect, but their willingness to protect him when the scandal broke. The financial cost was equally devastating. Christy Dombrowski's warnings about Amber's interest in Johnny's wealth proved prophetic when Amber's divorce settlement and legal fees cost Johnny millions. But the deeper cost was losing Christy's trust and guidance. She had managed Johnny's finances for decades, and her warnings about Amber were based on protecting assets she had helped build. But perhaps the most profound consequence was psychological. Johnny's confession reveals a man who realized he had betrayed his own support system. The people who warned him about Amber weren't trying to control his life. They were trying to protect it. And by ignoring them, Johnny didn't just lose a marriage, he lost faith in his own judgment and damaged relationships with people who had earned the right to be heard. The source who witnessed Johnny's breakdown described him as haunted by the realization that he had hurt the people who loved him most by refusing to trust their love. This wasn't just about Amber, it was about Johnny understanding that his pride and stubbornness had made him complicit in his own destruction. So let's bring this full circle. Johnny Depp's leaked confession, "I should have listened to everyone," isn't just about regret over a failed marriage. It's about the devastating realization that every person who tried to warn him was right, and he chose to ignore them all. Vanessa Paradis warned him about Amber's calculated interest mirroring. Court testimony later revealed Amber had researched Johnny's hobbies extensively before their relationship began. Christy Dombrowski warned him about financial manipulation. Divorce records showed Amber gained access to hundreds of thousands of dollars within months of marriage. His security team warned him about controlling behavior. Trial testimony confirmed Amber monitored Johnny's communications and movements obsessively. His makeup artist warned him about possessive behavior on set. Witnesses later testified about Amber's jealousy and interference with Johnny's work relationships. His children expressed discomfort with Amber's presence. Court records later revealed the toxic environment Amber created in their home. His legal team advised caution about changing his will. The divorce settlement cost Johnny millions in assets and legal fees. Every single warning proved accurate. Every concern was validated. Every red flag his loved ones identified became evidence in a courtroom years later. But here's the most haunting part of Johnny's confession. He didn't just ignore the warnings, he actively fought against them. He defended Amber to the people who were trying to protect him. He chose her word over theirs. He prioritized her feelings over their concerns. And in doing so, he didn't just enable his own destruction. He damaged relationships with people who had spent decades earning his trust. The source who heard Johnny's private breakdown said his exact words were, "I didn't just lose a marriage. I lost faith in everyone who loved me because I chose someone who didn't love me at all." And the worst part is, they all saw it coming. That's the real tragedy of Johnny Depp's story. It's not that he fell for a manipulative person. It's that he had an entire support system trying to prevent exactly that, and he chose to ignore them all. His confession reveals a man who finally understands that love isn't just about trusting your partner, it's about trusting the people who have proven they want what's best for you. Maybe Johnny's leaked words will serve as a warning to others. Maybe they'll help people recognize that when everyone you trust is saying the same thing, it's worth listening. Or maybe they're just the private regrets of a man who learned too late that the people who love you most are usually the ones who see the truth most clearly. But when the people who know you best all see the same red flags and you choose to ignore them all, that's not love, that's pride. And pride, as Johnny Depp finally learned, can cost you everything. Maybe when Johnny said, "I should have listened to everyone," he wasn't just talking about the past, he was warning anyone blinded by love in the present. So what do you think? Was Johnny's confession genuine regret, or just another performance? And why do we so often ignore the warnings from people who love us most? Drop your thoughts below, because maybe Johnny's story isn't just about him. Maybe it's about all of us, and the warnings we choose not to hear.